Hey, everybody. Okay, we're starting this one just a little bit different today because if you're listening to this in real time, you know that it's just about 4th of July. And I decided to take just a little bit of time off to spend some time with my family in the sun and by the pool and to relax. And so we are going to republish the 4th of July episode from last year where we went over a whole bunch of different 4th of July menus. So I hope you enjoy this and get some yummy dinner ideas that you can make for 4th of July and beyond, honestly. These are great dinner recipes for any night of the week. So enjoy this episode, and we will be back next week with a brand new episode for, I believe, Gochujang Meatballs. I'll see you then. Welcome to Let's Make Dinner, your audio library of amazing dinner recipes you can get on the table any night of the week. I'm your host, Susie Weinrich. Welcome, everybody. Today we are doing a special episode of Let's Make Dinner. We're not talking about one dinner recipe. We're talking about an entire menu. 4th of July is just around the corner, and so I wanted to give you guys a really good menu that you could turn to for 4th of July that has all of your side dishes, really killer hamburgers, all of the garnishes you need, plus tips on making everything ahead. And not everything. We're not going to make everything ahead, but any of the dishes that you can make on July 3rd or even July 2nd, so that on the 4th of July, you can have some drinks, have some fun with your friends, and not be in the kitchen the whole time. So let's get started on this menu. I'm going to go over the entire menu now, and then I'm going to talk about each individual item and give you some tips for that item and also ways that you can make it ahead to make your 4th of July a little bit smoother. So we're starting with just a classic hamburger, potato salad, some type of corn. I have 2 different recipes to share with you, a broccoli bacon salad, a veggie pasta salad, fresh watermelon, and of course some chips. And then for dessert, we're talking either a blueberry crumble or a no-bake chocolate pot de creme. All right, starting with those classic burgers. You're, of course, going to need whatever grilling situation you have set up. Get that all ready a couple days ahead. Make sure you have charcoal. Make sure you have propane, whatever you need for your grill. For the burgers, you can absolutely make these a day ahead. You're going to make that burger patty mixture, form your patties, pop them onto a sheet pan and get them in the fridge and let them just sit in there overnight. They'll be good to go as soon as you have your grill all ready. Of course, you want to make sure that you have all of the toppings ready for your burgers. And what I recommend is just getting a big platter or, again, a sheet pan, laying out all of the toppings, covering it with plastic wrap, and putting it in the fridge. Here are the toppings that I recommend. Just a romaine or a green leaf lettuce, pickles, onions. Now slice your onions and then give them a nice little rinse under cool water. What that does is it removes the enzyme that makes your onion flavor stick with you forever. 3 hours later, you're still tasting the onion. Once you rinse that enzyme away, you can still taste the onion and it's still delicious on your hamburger, but it's not going to overpower the entire dish. Then you'll also want to slice up some tomatoes. I actually recommend doing that the day of because tomatoes should not be stored in the fridge. When they're stored in the fridge, they actually break down and they lose flavor. So I recommend waiting to do your tomatoes and then right before you serve them, season them with some kosher salt, black pepper, onion powder, and garlic powder. It makes all the difference on your burger, promise. Then just make sure you have ketchup, mustard, and mayonnaise, and you're good to go for your burgers. Next, let's talk about potato salad. Potato salad is better done the day before anyway. When potato salad has a little bit of time to sit in the fridge, the flavors kind of meld together and it's so much better. It's just like chili. So I have a recipe for Instant Pot potato salad or just a classic potato salad, and I will link both of those in the show notes for you. I said that I had 2 different corn options for you. You can, of course, do just your classic corn on the cob. You can boil it just in salted water for around 8 minutes, or you can make your corn on the cob in your Instant Pot. So if you are a pothead, get out that Instant Pot, and cook it up in there. I have a great recipe, a complete how-to make corn on the cob in your Instant Pot that I will link in the show notes for you. Now, if you have that fresh corn, but you maybe don't want to serve corn on the cob, I also have a killer recipe for homemade creamed corn. You can absolutely make that a day ahead. If you're going to serve corn on the cob, I would do that the day of. But if you're going to do the homemade creamed corn, make it up on the 2nd or the 3rd and just reheat it on the stovetop on the 4th of July. This next recipe is actually a family favorite. It's the broccoli bacon salad. If you haven't had this one, it's like a raw broccoli salad that has bacon, onions, sunflower seeds, raisins, and then it has this like creamy, kind of tangy mayonnaise-based dressing that you put on it, and it's delicious. You can absolutely make most of the components ahead of time for the salad. Chop up your broccoli, measure out your raisins, measure out your sunflower seeds, chop up the onions, get all that ready, pop that in the fridge, and then make up the dressing in a little mason jar and pop that in the refrigerator separate from the salad. And then just like an hour before you serve, mix it all together and you're good to go. With your veggie pasta salad, it is kind of like potato salad, where it's actually better if you can make it a day ahead because it kind of marinates everything. So I would completely make the veggie pasta salad a day or 2 ahead and let that sit in the fridge. Of course, there's watermelon and chips. Those are easy, good to go the day of. For dessert, I have 2 different options for you. If you're more of a berry type of person, you can go with a blueberry crumble. And what I would do with that, serve your blueberry crumble, sprinkle a couple of fresh raspberries on top, and then add a little bit of vanilla ice cream so you have your red, white, and blue for 4th of July. Now, if you're more of a chocolate person, I would recommend doing these no-bake chocolate pot de creme. It is delicious. No baking required. Basically, everything is made in your food processor or blender, and then it goes in the fridge. And it's like a chocolate custard, silky chocolate mousse. It's delicious. And again, I would recommend topping it with maybe some fresh blueberries, fresh raspberries, and a little bit of whipped cream so you have your red, white, and blue for 4th of July. I hope all of these tips and recipes help you have an amazing 4th of July and celebrate our beautiful country. I will place links to all the printable recipes right in the show notes so you can make them for 4th of July and plan out exactly how and when you are going to make all the recipes. If you are loving these episodes of Let's Make Dinner, I would love to have you subscribe or follow on your preferred podcast player. Until next time, I hope this episode of Let's Make Dinner makes your dinner time a little easier.